Yes, I honestly believe in happy workplaces.
Yep,
It's not frivolous and it's not trivial and it's not
yep,
kind of nice if everything else is fine. It's fundamental. Three tips are: one is that you get that team network going, get people feeling really part of a team and feeling part of the organization and listened to
absolutely.
and valued and give them agency to move the organization on. That's the first tip. The second tip is constantly work on the blockers. What is stopping good things happening,
Mm.
and unblock? And they will change month on month, year on year. So always have everything under review and be prepared to slaughter a few sacred cows if necessary. The things we always do it this way. Why? Because we always do it this way. Why? So you go to these circular arguments. And the third thing is just have an index, have some sense of whether you're getting there and you're improving. So you can do it through questioning staff, you can do it through interviews, you can do it through other data that you might want to gather, but always know. So when you say this place is buzzing, don't just say I feel that because I walked in and someone smiled at me. Do it because you've got data from the whole organization that is reinforcing that message. And therefore kind of always be critical of yourself, never feel you've got there, and always
Yep.
feel that your organization is a work in progress that we're all building together. And it will be different this year and next year and the year after. Those three tips, I think, are, in my experience, basic, fundamental, and of the
Absolutely.
essence.
Absolutely. So you've worked extensively with leaders across different sectors. What
Yes.
are the core qualities that you believe all strong leaders should possess?
At the moment, I think they need courage. It's a pretty tough out there,
Really?
I have to say. I do think people need courage, but I also think they need humility. They need to listen. They need to listen, ask questions, and listen to the
Yeah.
answers. Many leaders ask
Yes.
questions, but they don't listen to the answers because they know what the answer is. So what? Don't
Right.
confuse me by telling me something that I don't know. Just confirm everything I say. So you get this echo chamber. So
Right.
and consciously seek diversity, seek diverse views, get out
Yeah.
there and talk to customers. When I met John Chambers, the former CEO of Cisco, John Chambers told me every single week of his life he phoned his top 10 customers around the world and he
Oh,
said,
really?
what's happening out there, how are we doing, anything I need
Yeah.
to know. And he said that was the best outside in intelligence connection he knew. So,
Wow.
he said, we anticipate downturns because my customers are saying it's really tough out there. It looks like this is
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
happen. And he said, so we adjust. We always adjusted because we knew what was coming. And that was because we were close to customers. And many of their products were based on customers saying, John, this is really good and that's really good. But if we had something that went between them, that would be even better. So he gets the product team and say, well, think about that. How will we make that work? So he constantly made himself available. When I met him, he gave me his business card in the days when people had business cards. And he said, that's my personal number in there. If you
Oh,
need me,
really?
don't hesitate to phone me. Now, I would never have phoned him. I didn't really have anything to talk to him. But he looked me in the eyes, and I think he didn't just say that and then went, ha ha, change the number again. He meant that. It was his
Yeah.
direct line. And if I had something to say to him, I think he would have picked up the phone. And I really liked that. So he was powerful, he was courageous, but he was humble, and he
Right.
learnt from his customers. And he represented a lot of what I think is important. And he didn't get in the way. He let the organization evolve itself and he let great leaders develop through the organization. He didn't try and over control, but he tried to monitor. He liked to know what was going on. And and he was the longest serving CEO in the FTSE 500. He was there for 22 years or 24 years as CEO.
Oh, right.
And what's
Wow.
the average tenure of a CEO? 13 months or
Is
18
that right?
months? Yeah, he
Wow.
was there for 22 years. So he must have been
Wow.
doing something right, I think.
Absolutely.
Maybe wrong, maybe wrong, but the evidence might point the other way.
So, what brings you joy outside of work?
Lots of things. I love going to. I went to a performance of Mahler's Second Symphony, the Requiem, and
Uh-huh.
I was moved to tears at the end of it. It was Michael Tilson Thomas, who's now 80 and getting very frail, probably conducting one of his last operas, and it had the full orchestra. And because it's Mahler, there's thousands of. You don't have one harp, you have two. You don't have four cellos, you have eight, plus a full choir, plus
Wow.
a little sub orchestra off stage, plus some singers off stage, so that the impact was extraordinary. And at the end of it, the entire audience stood up and
Right.
just, it was so moving. Both my wife and I had tears in our eyes at the end of it.
Right.
So that gives me great joy, the joy of music. But on the other hand, I went all the way to Margate to see Peter Hook and the Light. Peter Hook was the bassist with Joy Division and New Order.
Oh, really?
He's got his own band, and that was just a homage and a tribute. And he's an amazing musician. It was fantastic. That brings me joy too. But I get a huge amount of joy out of my grandchildren, watching them grow up and learn, and trying to be with them, even though they're a long way away, trying to be with them as much as I possibly can. But Australia and New Zealand, the New Zealand ones are even further away than Australia. So it's not easy, but I do love the way they're pulling the world together and forming their understanding. You know, that they're on their sentimental journey, and I really love that, and I love trying to help them. My new book is dedicated to my 4 grandchildren. So, and I say that I hope the world that they inherit will be a better place because of the kind of work that me and others are trying to do to make workplaces more humane, happier, and work and life being better connected than they are at the moment. So, and I believe that I really do want them to have a better, more exciting, happier life than and not have to put up with some of the things that I've had to put up with, and most of us have put up with, and you've had to put up with, Henry. You know, we've all been through through the mill in our time. Absolutely. And it's not great. It's not great emotionally or spiritually or in any other way.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Nigel, and thank you especially for the case studies. Thank you.
That's okay. It's a pleasure. It's always good to talk to you, Henry. I always enjoy it, and I always love it. I love a new shirt. I love a new shirt, and you never disappoint.